Gentlemen, welcome back to the, you a little bit curious about this? I thought you would be, and I'll explain in a second. Welcome back to the Tiege Hanley, Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 153. So, got a lot to talk about today, and I got a lot of business questions, which is awesome. And tell you first, though, a little bit about my trip. If you guys missed last week's vlog, it was a great vlog. Visited Tiege Hanley headquarters, sat down and answered some questions, gave you a tour of the new facility. I actually got to drive the forklift, and it was awesome. And you got to see everybody except Kelly because he was out having a phone call. But I filmed that vlog at the beginning of the trip. Like as soon as I got there, I went in, I jammed my camera in everybody's face. And it was a really fun vlog. It's a great vlog. One of my favorites that we've done in a long time. And the lighting in the conference room at Tiege Hanley headquarters, amazing. But it's not that good here, but that's all right. I'm going to power through. So we had a pretty fantastic meeting. I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, the last Tiege Hanley sort of quarterly meeting was an 11 in terms of we did it differently. We had an off-site meeting both days, as opposed to doing things like we were doing in sort of like one of the rooms at Tiege Hanley where people would come in one at a time. We would meet with them. We'd talk about different things. We all got together in one room. We rented a hotel, or it was actually like a conference room at the Virgin Hotel in Chicago, which I thought was cool. Virgin Hotel was okay. I think they were trying really hard to be super cool, and it kind of was like a little bit like, it was not as good as the place I stay, the Thompson, when I'm up there. And it's like they were trying to be the W Hotel, and it was like, it was cool, but it was just like, it was missing something for me. Anyway, that's my hotel review. I've become quite the hotel snob, I gotta tell you. Anyway, the Virgin Hotel is very nice if you ever want to stay there. But the Thompson is still kicking ass. Anyway, so we had this conference room in the basement of the Virgin Hotel, and everybody, the entire team, like management team, was there. And we were just like, we were on a schedule, we were regimented, we were hammering through things. But it was really cool because we got to start the meeting with Kelly asking the question, you know, sort of like what's going on with us personally, and so we all went around the table to talk about what was good going on, and some people had some things that were kind of crappy going on, but it was a good sort of grounding exercise, and it allowed us to connect as a company, and that was a great way to kick things off. And so we went over a lot of incredible ideas. We also sort of threw a lot of the things that we're struggling with on the table, and sort of like, okay, hey, here's what we're dealing with. What do we need to do in order to fix it? But it was just it was an amazing meeting. Also, we went out to dinner, Kelly, Rob, the chemist, and myself, and this was the first time I ever was in Chicago. Went out to a steak restaurant and was like, I was kind of like, it was overpriced. And I thought like the food wasn't as good as some of the other places that we've been, but that's all right. It was still good. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's kind of like pizza. It's hard to screw it up, but it just wasn't as good as some of the other places that we've been to. But it's always fun breaking bread and having some wine and just, you know, sort of celebrating the victories. But yeah, the meeting was amazing. We have a lot of things that we're working on, a lot of accomplishments individually from a rock perspective. And I've talked about rocks and what rocks represent a few vlogs ago. It's all part of this new like EOS system that Tiege Hanley has adopted. It's a way of sort of running our business. Each person has like rocks, and these rocks represent, you know, sort of like the must-have things that they need to get done in the next 3 months. And so everything is focused on these rocks. Instead of having like 30 things that everybody has like a little piece of you know, input, or we need to do like all these little things, you've got these specific things. If you need help, let us know. Each week we update, hey, where are we on our rocks? Is everything good? But it's a more effective way of running a company. It streamlines things, and that's just like one small part of the EOS/entrepreneurs operating system that we're doing. But it was very It was awesome. It was a great meeting. This doesn't mean that we figured everything out. This just means that we as a team know where we're going. And it's incredibly important when you're part of a team and when you're growing like Tiege Hanley is, that everybody is on the same page, because if you're not, things can get out of whack. It was amazing to connect with everybody, to sort of get grounded, and to sort of hear from everybody in terms of what the successes are and things that we're struggling, because Tiege Hanley is definitely struggling in certain areas. But I think that it's a sort of like one of those like growing pains type of things, but it's all right. We're making it happen, and Tiege Hanley is very healthy as a company, and we're hiring. I think next week I might have an announcement on a potential tech person that we might have brought on and hired, but things are going well. So that's that. Just wanted to update you a little bit on the Tiege Hanley quarterly meeting. Now I want to talk about a video that's going to be posting to my YouTube channel this week. So the deal is this. I went a long time ago, it seems like ages ago, it couldn't have been that long, where I went to the drugstore. I wanted to assemble a Tiege Hanley kit to sort of see like what else is out there in terms of cheap drugstore products, and sort of give you guys sort of the best of the drugstore brands. I wanted to assemble a Tiege Hanley Level 3 skincare system. And so I tested a bunch of products and I put together a Tiege Hanley kit, and the net result was that Tiege Hanley is just crushing it in terms of quality, in terms of value, in terms of price. And I think like the cheap drugstore products, like if you would assemble a drugstore brand like kit, it would not drugstore brand, but like you're buying, you know, the things that they sell at the drugstore to make a Tiege Hanley Level 3 kit. Looking for a face wash, exfoliating scrub, AM, PM moisturizer, eye cream, and anti-aging serum. And I think the cost was like around like 140 bucks if you were to go and try and assemble a Tiege Hanley Level 3 kit from the drugstore. But I thought, you know, it'd be really cool to go shop for more premium, more premium products, and actually do the same thing, because it's been so long since I've used Jack Black or Kiehl's or any of these other any of these other products. Like, I've kind of lost my touch and my grasp on what's good, because I've been using Tiege Hanley now for the last 2 years. And so I was like, all right, let's do this. And so with my camera, I vlogged it. I went shopping and I went to the store. I went to Nordstrom's, and the goal was to basically buy, you know, products that I used to like or things that I've heard a lot of good things about, and test them and use them for a week, and then report back as to what I liked the best in terms of the high-end skincare products, and what that cost would actually be in terms of building a high-end Level 3 skincare system. And I won't give you like a spoiler alert in terms of what the final cost or tally was to the experiment, but it was fun. It was fun using different products for a week, just trying different things, because I bought like 2 eye creams. I bought like a few different moisturizers. I just played around with a bunch of different things. And after doing that, I am even more excited and passionate about what Tiege Hanley is doing. Like, I know, like, or I should say, I knew that we were killing it in terms of quality, in terms of price point. But after doing this, it was like, holy crap. Like, it's insane the fact that we are charging what we are for the level quality products that we are. I ended up really just going back to 2 products and 2 brands that I knew very well. Jack Black, I used to be a huge Jack Black fan, and I still really like their products. I think they make good stuff. They make a ton of different products. And so I actually have promoted them back before Tiege Hanley. I did one like promotional video for Jack Black, and it did very well for them. I think it's their most highly viewed video. But the products are good. They're still good. Some of them I don't love as much as I used to. Kiehl's is another one of those companies that I always just really enjoyed their products. And so this time, Nordstrom had some, but I decided to go to the Kiehl store, because you're now seeing a lot of Kiehl's like retail shops in some of these high-end malls. I actually saw Kiehl's store in the airport, and so I wanted to go in there and sort of play around. It's been a while since I've used their products, And their products are good. I still very much enjoy their products. This moisturizer, even though it's just an SPF of 15, is a good moisturizer. The serum, well, you gotta watch the video. I go into detail in terms of talking about their products. But the funny thing that I want you to watch for in the next video, when I go into Kiehl's, I'm sitting there and I've got a friend with me and he's, sitting there filming me. And the sales associate, I ended up having to blur her face. Everything was cool. The people were cool. Staff was cool with me shopping and even saw my video camera right away. But as soon as I started actually asking her questions, and I wasn't like trying to be a dick, I was just trying to understand like, what is the property in this product that is you're claiming is going to help with this and this. And it was like a deer in the freaking headlights. Like all the Kiehl's employees, they're rocking their white like lab coats, trying to look like, I'm not sure what they're trying to, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to look like, expert dermatologist or whatever. And she looked like she couldn't have a conversation with me. All she was able to do was regurgitate her talking points. And as soon as the manager and his buddy, I guess it's like the assistant manager, just another person, they saw her like struggling to answer my questions, they immediately, and you see it in the video, it's really funny, you see them like march out and you don't see it on camera, but you hear just the beginning like, hey, you can't film in here. And so everything was cool until they heard me ask questions and her not being able to answer them. And so like it was funny. So I stopped filming, but Kiehl's makes some nice products, Jack Black nice products, Anthony products. I've heard a lot of good things about Anthony, or I should say I've seen a lot of ads for Anthony. Their stuff, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's nice, but it's nothing, in my opinion, nothing really special about it. But whatever. Anyway, you got to watch the video, guys. It's posting this week, and it really goes into my favorite products, the 5 products, or the 6 products: wash, scrub, AM, PM moisturizer, eye cream, and a super serum. But at the price to build a Tiege Hanley level 3 kit of good products is insane. Now, gentlemen, I've talked a lot. Let's get to some of your incredible questions. Fabio Bernardi has a business question. He says, I run a business and I'd like some tips, to be a better salesman and to convince people that my products really make things better, which is true. Basically, how to sell even when they don't actually need those items. Thank you in advance. So you want to be a better salesperson. I didn't realize that I was such a good salesperson until other people started telling me you're a really good salesperson. I think one of the mistakes that businesses get into and companies that are selling products is that they make it about the sale. It's all about like the sale. As opposed, it's kind of like sex, right? Think about sales kind of like sex. I know this is a totally weird analogy, right? But what happens when you're young and you're excited? It's all about just like, making it happen and like the act of sex. But there are so many other nuances and there's a lot of other things that go into sort of the process of making it a pleasurable experience for everybody. You gotta do nice things. You gotta, say sweet things. You gotta do a little courting. You can't just like see somebody that you're interested in and be like, can we have sex? Like it just doesn't work. Think of sales in the same manner. Sales are very similar. It's not just about like, hey, buy this product, it's awesome, it's gonna do whatever. It's about the story. It's about painting the picture of why this is going to be amazing. But it can't just be about the product, it's gotta be about them. And what I've found is that giving people value in terms of helping them and giving them tips and advice on certain things makes it a lot easier to integrate and talk about a great product and sort of like whet their appetite, because you're talking about how this product makes people's life better. Well, you need to really illustrate the issue in life that it helps with. Really talk about that and focus on that and then sort of integrate your product. But it can't just be about, here's the product, buy it now, it's amazing, it's gonna help with this. It's about, here's you're awesome, your life is great, but this is the problem you're having, and I happen to have a solution. I don't know if that made sense, but hopefully it did. Next question is from Arthur Verdejo. Business question, Aaron. So I started my business 6 months ago and everything is going really great except one weakness is hiring. What tips do you have for interviewing and recruiting good quality employees? Brother, this is the $1,000,000 question. Hiring is one of the hardest things that you're going to have to face as a business owner, because one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they rush into a hire and they really don't sort of vet the potential employees. And there is a cost associated with hiring every single person. Even if they just work for a day, the time it takes to sort of to vet them, to sort of get them up to speed, to hire them, and then to fire them, like that takes your time, that takes your energy, and there's a cost associated with that. You know, I think, you know, it's hard though. I mean, you know, a lot of my best employees or people that work for me personally are like friends and family and like friends of friends or referrals. Anytime you can get a referral, like, and that's the other thing, Tiege Hanley, Kiehl, our digital marketing director, he was a referral from Brian, who sits on our board, who's a friend of Kelly, who Kiehl actually worked for Kelly before. And so asking around your friends, your family, people that you respect, people that you know, to see if there are any potential, you know, people that they may know or their Facebook friends, or sort of using your network to try and cultivate some great employees, I would say is a good option. You know, but it's hard, you know, getting connected to, you know, entrepreneur groups or hiring agencies, maybe reaching out to universities in your area. You really need to identify like what that job or responsibility is, and sort of really detailing what they're going to be doing. Once you have a job description, then you can kind of do some outreach and give that to you know, headhunters if you want, or career placement places. There are places online that can help you. There are places everywhere, but you really need to identify the role, the responsibilities, how much you're going to pay them, all that good stuff. And actually the pay you can worry about later. Don't talk about that up front. Because, you know, would you pay more for a better person that you don't have to train quite as much? I think the answer is absolutely. So it really boils down to the candidate that you can potentially find. Hope that helps. Dutt, D-U-T-T, has a great question. I was in school, but I dropped out because I wasn't sure the direction I wanted to take there. I have some business ideas, but I'm wondering, should I go back to school to learn some skills and business related courses first? So I'm assuming Dutt is talking about like college or some type of university, and not like, you know, like he dropped out of like high school. If you dropped out of high school, I'd probably go and get your GED, just so that you have that taken care of. In terms of going back to school and enrolling to learn business skills, I don't necessarily think that this is critical. And the reason I say that is because with all of the amazing online learning platforms that are out there, like Skillshare and like Udemy, I don't know if Udemy is still a thing, it used to be. There are a lot of things online, a lot of courses that you can take that are going to be less time, you know, it's not going to take you as long, and they're going to give you sort of the nuts and bolts of what you actually need to know. One of the problems I find when I look back at what I learned in college is that they talk about a lot of things, you know, and there's a lot of, you know, context that goes around and everything that they teach you. But some of the things you don't really need to know, to be honest. And you waste a lot of time going through a lot of courses that you don't really have any interest in, or that aren't really applicable to what you're going to do. And I think now we are in such a unique position to be able to take information and knowledge from people that have been there, done that, that actually are willing and selling that information. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. And so, do I think it's necessarily? No, absolutely not. If it's something that you think you need a degree in order to, you know, go into a career in like accounting or finance or whatever it is, then maybe you do. But if you're starting a business and you just want to learn some business skills like marketing and, you know, maybe accounting and production, like there's all things that you can learn. Most of it you can learn for free on YouTube. And so I'd spend my time there searching for content that is applicable to the areas that you're looking to improve upon, as opposed to going back to school, sitting there, learning from a teacher that you have no idea if they've actually ever done anything. For me, I love the platform Skillshare. because it's all people that have done it and that do it. It's not just like a bunch of like fluff. It's legit like experts, and you can learn so much if you just sit there and listen from people that have been there, got the t-shirt and done it. So I would say no, absolutely not. And the last business question is from our friend Ben Laundry. And this question is so awesome, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but I might as well take a stab at it. He says, as a leader in your business organization, either manager or upper brass with less than 100 employees, how do you get your employees excited about working with or selling a product if they're not part of the target audience for the product? This is a great, great question. And interestingly enough, Tiege Hanley is a company that sells products for men, skincare products for men. We've got employees that probably prior to Tiege Hanley never used skincare that are men. We've got women that work at Tiege Hanley. And everybody is super engaged and excited about building the brand Tiege Hanley. And it really comes from, I think, the upper management and the vision and getting people on board and making sure that they are doing things that they're really good at and they're in roles that they can excel at. And if they can excel in the role that they're positioned, you know, that's exciting. If everybody enjoys and can share in a common goal and a common vision of the business, it's exciting. Regardless of if you're necessarily in the target demo or not, it's just being part of the team and understanding and really believing in the culture and the direction of the management or I should say of the company, but the management, it's your job to sort of set that goal, set that expectation. There's an amazing speech. It's actually a TED Talk by a guy named Simon Sinek. And if you watch any of my YouTube videos or promotions for like audible.com or Skillshare for that matter, Simon Sinek is just an amazing mind when it comes to management and leadership. And he's done some TED Talks that are amazing and that are a must watch. If you're somebody who wants to be in business and hopefully, you know, someday you have a business or have employees or just, you know, you're an entrepreneur at heart, you've got to watch them. There's one that he does called Start With Why, and there's another one that says it's something like Why Great Leaders Eat Last or something like that. Watch those two. They are I don't know if you can see, I got chills just thinking about them. They're so incredible, and I think he does the best job explaining sort of your role and why you should do certain things, and it starts with management. It starts with the leadership. And if you can adopt sort of the principles that he talks about, you'll have no problem getting everybody on board because everybody shares in the common goal, the belief system, and sort of the objectives of the business and the company. But it starts at the top. Gentlemen, that's it. At the top of this business is you. Down in the comments, though, let me know if you've got another business-related question that we haven't answered. Please start the question with business question and ask your question. Next week, we'll get to some. We'll also do some updating on some of the things we're struggling and working on right now. But at the end of the day, gentlemen, we love you more than our double monk strap shoes. You know it, we know it, and that is all I've got to say about that.